This is the newest Air Force One, and it is the most advanced presidential taxi ever made. Well, maybe. The VC-25B has been stuck in limbo for years as delay after delay bogs down the program into the latest Department of Defense boondoggle. But to better understand how soon-to-be President Trump may never get to ride in it, we need to take a look at all the upgrades currently planned for the newest Air Force One that will make it the most secure yet luxurious aircraft in the world. The design of the new VC-25B is mostly unknown, but here's a model based on all available public information, starting with the Presidential Suite. Because of its proximity to exits, the Presidential Suite is located at the front, so in case of emergency, the President can make a quick escape. While this feature of Air Force One's layout will always remain the same for security reasons, the rest of the suite is getting a huge makeover, starting with the interior design. For decades, the Presidential Suite has maintained what is known as a Southwestern style. This style, with its emphasis on nature and earth-tone colors, has adorned each Air Force One since the 1960s. But the VC-25B is changing that. Current plans are for the room to be upgraded to a more modern design. This will include a sleeker, more open feel and a new white paint job. But that is not the only thing changing with the redesign. Before, the furniture of the Presidential Suite was better suited for a Red Roof Inn than a president. This is because the president had to sleep on a pull-out bed and had limited, outdated seating arrangements. However, the plan is now to ditch the presidential futon for an actual queen-size bed and expand the personal lounge area with additional recliners and sofas to make them plusher. The suite is also getting a brand new TV, and the windows are being expanded to offer more natural light. In addition to this, the designers are more cognizant of enhanced snooping technology that could record the president in his private moments. That's why the suite will have increased security features like soundproofing to supposedly protect classified information during closed-door meetings. However, we see that there's a door leading to a staircase that goes to the second deck of the VC-25B. Up these stairs is where Trump will make America great again while 30,000 feet in the air. Just like the Presidential Suite, the President's office is ditching the 1960s-era decor and being made more modern and sleeker to mirror the Oval Office in the actual White House. Only here, the upgrades go far beyond merely aesthetic. Instead, the majority of the upgrades here are focused on functionality and security, starting with getting rid of the 1980s-era computers. Because Air Force One's designers wanted to make the plane as impenetrable to cyber attacks as possible, they initially chose to use the latest and greatest analog technology at the time. While this worked great for the period, digital technology has greatly advanced to the point where there can be very secure, hardened networks that are not analog. With the new digital technology installed in the airborne Oval Office, the president can now make decisions faster and more securely thanks to the addition of touchscreen monitors and more robust encryption that provides links to various satellite communications. With these enhanced comm suites, Trump would now have better and faster access than ever before to communicate with the outside world, whether that be coordinating a response with NORAD or blasting memes into cyberspace. However, providing a new workspace and a wholly revamped comm suite are not the only functionality upgrades the plane's receiving. One of the other ones is turning the aircraft into a flying trauma center. Moving back from the Presidential Suite and office, you'll see what looks like an inconspicuous broom closet. But don't let the looks deceive you. Inside this room is some of the most advanced medical equipment in the world. It's an entire hospital room, complete with a surgical bed, heart monitors, a full trauma kit, and even a fully stocked pharmacy. Though previous renditions of Air Force One included a type of medical facility, the other ones are all very bare bones compared to this one. Because of these upgrades, the new Air Force One is capable of stabilizing a patient before landing and performing surgery while in flight. Going past the medical bay, one will see that the remaining interior of the aircraft has been completely revamped, starting with the main conference room. Towards the center of the aircraft is the main conference room. While the location is not changed, the room is getting a complete makeover. Boeing is throwing out all the old 1980s retro furniture that's better suited for a nursing home and is installing new chairs along with a new paint job that will match the presidential suite. Additionally, the table will no longer be a plain Jane table. Instead, it will feature touchscreens in front of each user so that participants can view critical information at their fingertips while receiving a briefing. Speaking of briefings, the room is also being upgraded with advanced communication capabilities similar to those of the presidential office. With one exception, the conference room will be able to conduct secure meetings with people around the world and present a message to the nation while airborne. While Trump may prefer to use his buddy Elon's X or his own Truth Social to address the public, this is still a significant capability that allows the president to maintain control no matter what is going on. But after those meetings are over, all of the VIPs and officials on board are going to be hungry. Thankfully, the designers have that covered too. Going past the conference room, one will see that there is a full galley that is double the size of the cramped kitchens on previous Air Force Ones. With these fully modernized and upgraded kitchens, the staff on board can whip up everything from 5-star meals to Trump's infamous well-done steaks for up to 100 people 3 times a day. But after expending all that energy chewing those super tough steaks, the VIPs and officials will need somewhere to lay down and rest. Thankfully, those people are also receiving an upgrade to their living quarters. Before, the guest suites more closely resembled a ship's berthing rather than a luxury suite. The VC-25B will change that by giving each official their own suite that looks more like a cruise ship cabin, while the Secret Service and support staff will still get bunk room accommodations. While all these previous upgrades are great for aesthetic and diplomatic reasons, the new Air Force One has received some serious improvements to its defense systems, which are designed to keep the president alive no matter what. Speaking of advanced design, imagine building something equally powerful for your business without the billion-dollar price tag. That's where today's sponsor, Odoo, comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that offers a range of applications for entrepreneurs, including a powerful website builder. Besides being super easy to use, your first application is free for life. This means no matter how long the site is up, you'll get unlimited hosting and support. Creating your website with Odoo is incredibly simple. With their intuitive website configurator, you can build a modern, professional website in just a few clicks. As your business expands, you can add more apps such as accounting, customer relationship management, or e-commerce to streamline your entire operation, all from one platform. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, head over to odoo.com and start building your free website today. And now, let's dive back into how the new Air Force One can delete any threat that comes at it. While Air Force One always flies around with a fighter escort while outside the United States, that doesn't mean that if alone, the president's plane would struggle to fend for itself. In fact, it's quite the contrary. Thanks to a robust suite of self-defense measures, the VC-25B has some interesting tricks up its sleeve. And among these is something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Known as the ANALQ-204 Mater, these devices are located in different parts of the aircraft, typically around the engines or tail section. Though it looks like a rather unassuming box with a bunch of cameras, don't let that fool you. This very potent system can take out a wide range of missiles without even firing a shot. It does so by using lasers that disrupt the guidance system of infrared missiles. Essentially, it's doing the multi-million-dollar version of shining a light in your eye so the missile can't find Air Force One. But if that doesn't work or the missile's not using an infrared seeker, at the rear of the aircraft, there's a chaff launcher as a last resort. Chaff is basically superheated metal that gets blasted in a large cloud around the aircraft. The hope is that because of this heat and infrared qualities, the incoming missile will be confused and it will fly through the chaff instead. However, the US doesn't spend hundreds of billions a year on defense for nothing, since the new VC-25B will also come fully loaded down with jammers all over the aircraft. The purpose of these jammers is to disrupt radars on any nearby enemy aircraft so they can't even get a lock on Air Force One in the first place. But in today's climate, With the threat of nuclear war higher than it has been in decades, the plane is also equipped to survive some of the worst weapons man can throw at the president. Among these are electromagnetic pulse bombs, designed to disrupt telecommunications equipment and fry computers. The plane's design team has insulated it with a Faraday shield of metals and various alloys that make it immune to EMPs. This shielding also prevents the horrible effects of heat and radiation from a nuclear blast. Because of this, even if the world is seemingly about to end, Trump could still talk to his military commanders and post memes about Armageddon on Truth Social. Thanks to the highly revamped aircraft body, the VC-25B can remain in the White House for a long time. One of the first things you'll probably notice is the color scheme will be different. Though Trump wanted an iconic red, white, and blue design, the FAA put the kibosh on those plans. According to them, the dark blue color Trump wanted may not have stood up under certain temperature conditions. Because of this, the Biden administration decided to keep the exterior painted white and a robin blue. True to his form, Trump will probably change this once he takes office, but he has yet to comment on that. Another major difference between this plane and previous versions is that the basic design of the VC-25B is essentially a stretched-out, more retro version of the luxury Boeing 747-8. At a height of 63 feet, a length of 250 feet, and a wingspan of 224 feet, the VC-25B is about 20 feet longer and 30 feet wider than the model it's based on. There are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, the plane needs to accommodate some things the 747-8 cannot, like its own air stairs and baggage loading. This is because the VC-25B is designed to land at almost any airport worldwide, no matter how limited their facilities are. The other main reason why the aircraft is larger is to accommodate the extra fuel tanks. With a 7,730 nautical mile range, this is 1,000 nautical miles further than the 747-8 can go. The reason for the additional fuel tanks is that, unlike the VC-25A, the VC-25B will not have the ability to aerially refuel. While many people have considered this a negative, the fact remains that even today, Air Force One rarely conducts aerial refueling. If it really looked like the end of the world was imminent, the president would probably already be on board the E-4B doomsday plane that can aerially refuel. One of the biggest differences will be in carrying capacity, with a max weight takeoff of 987,000 pounds. This is about 100,000 more pounds worth of weight the VC-25B can carry. This can equate to more food, fuel, water, equipment, parts, and whatever else is needed for a prolonged flight. The main reason for this is the structural modifications made to the VC-25B and lighter but stronger composite materials being used. The other reason for the increased capacity is the better engines on board. The new VC-25B will have 4 General Electric Gen X 2B67 engines. At about 9,000 pounds of thrust, greater than what's on the VC-25A, this aircraft has a slightly faster speed and a much greater thrust. Additionally, these engines are more fuel efficient and quieter than before. But despite all these amazing upgrades, President Trump may never actually get the chance to test drive the VC-25B, thanks to a continual series of delays. In the final days of the Obama administration, the Air Force awarded the initial contract to Boeing to begin the initial development of the VC-25B. In 2018, under President Trump, the government finalized the contract to deliver 2 VC-25Bs at a cost of $3.9 billion. However, this cost has ballooned to about $5.3 billion in recent years. Because of the firm fixed price on the contract, Boeing has already eaten more than $1 billion loss on the project with no end in sight. One of the biggest issues is the complexity in basically redesigning almost the entire aircraft to meet all the security, communications, and defensive requirements set by the government. Another reason is that all the aircraft's body's various parts have to be modified to accept things like the staircase, EMP shielding, and other additions. Boeing also cited supply chain issues with getting parts that have slowed everything down. Because of these delays, the aircraft was supposed to be delivered by 2024. But of course, we're now in 2025 with no new ride in sight. According to Boeing's most recent statements, the VC-25B will be ready for ground testing by this summer, and its first flight is scheduled for spring of 2026. The final delivery of both aircraft has now been adjusted to 2027 with a one-year grace period. Any additional delays will continue pushing this timeline to the right, which means that Trump may never get to ride in a plane he championed in his first term. Bye for now.